to design a particular report which will have a dependent parameters using value set concept. Dependent value set with parameters in the report. Okay.
Okay.
So far, do you have any idea on the modules? Have you got some idea which modules are there, or at least are you concentrating on your specific module?
As of now, I was mostly using application developer and system administrator.
Tables, I mean to say tables, purchase order tables, or maybe sales order tables, or which tables you are concentrating?
Whatever you mean, whatever we have come across in our practice, like PO head, OE, head is all.
Okay.
FND table.
Okay, fine. Hello.
Those.
Yeah. There is some issue, I think, today. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. There is some issue today. I mean, okay. I think it's okay now.
I was okay.
So what we do is, like here, every module will have a n number of submodules. Okay. So what we do is, even I designed one particular Excel sheet. So it has a list of tables according to the module. I'll share with you. Okay. So whenever you get time, what you do is try to concentrate on one of particular specific module, or maybe what we do is, before that, maybe I'll send you other PPTs. There are something called O2C and P2P cycles, which are very much important in the e-business suite. Okay. So try to learn the cycles first. Later on, we'll see like how we can learn tables, but let us just try to understand the process first. Try to understand the process. Don't worry about the total functionality. Just understand the O2C and P2P process in Oracle ERP. Okay. I think I lost the total audio today. Something wrong, I guess. Okay, so what I was telling you is like just try to understand the processes, O2C and P2P. Okay, later on we'll discuss more on that. One day, I mean, what we do is like once we get into functional flows, I'll try to explain you that. But maybe initially, if you have some time, go through that.
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
Let's get to some particular stuff today. What I want to do is, okay. So there is something called BOM, Bill of Materials. Okay, and another module called WIP, called Work in Process. There's something called discrete jobs. Okay, so maybe if you have seen a responsibility here, let me show you that. Work in process, discrete jobs. Okay. One minute, let me check this. So let's start from, do you remember which table this belongs to?
ORG.
What is the significance of this table? What information it is providing?
No, we didn't discuss about this table.
Sure.
We discussed about HR operating units. I don't think we discussed about.
This is the inventory organization table, okay?
Okay.
Inventory org table. Inventory, vision, China, vision column, vision France, GHI, JKLM. Okay, vision operations. The name is Q1. So I'll select Q1. Okay. Okay, you must define work in process, define necessary parameter, define work in process parameters form. Okay. Setup parameters. These are some of the parameters which we need to set up for this org. So these are the configuration which will be done by the functional consultant. Okay. Generally, we doesn't need to do any of these setups, but you must define at least one WIP accounting class before using this module. Okay. Accounting class. This is the what you call. Remember accounting code combination stuff.
In the journal page, when we are creating a new journal,
Yes.
got the same.
Yeah. So this is like why do you have these accounting stuff all this? Because generally like in any organization the organization will be divided into subset of departments, right? Like financial, HRMS, any organization, whether it's a manufacturing organization, whether it's a university, or it's a college, whether it's a chemical company or a infrastructure company, every organization will have a n number of departments, right? So from the business perspective, what always you want to do, we just want to find out what is the credit and debit and what is the total balance sheet. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
what you validate, you'll just validate the profits, right? So what we do
Yeah.
is here, see, now this particular ERP is just, it's not a financial system. The basic thing is this will not have all the information. It's not your bank account, right? But what we do is
Yeah.
using these accounting code combinations, we'll try to validate nothing but, let us say, if you are assigning some particular amount to purchase department, what you do is you'll consider a particular account number. So like a Hyderabad purchasing department account number is ABC. Chennai department accounting code combination is EFG. So while defining your ERP system, you'll assign different accounting code combinations for those particular departments, so that if you want to, let us say, if you want to find out like the purchase orders of Chennai, what is the total profit for them? How much amount we have written, we have assigned to suppliers, and how much we have retrieved from like from them, something like that. So these all things will be done through this kind of concept.
So we maintain for every see, for now the Hyderabad and Chennai will have two different org IDs, right?
Obvious. Yes.
And for every particular org ID and for every particular department, the account number changes. Like
Yes.
Chennai, for example, if Chennai branch has purchasing and what else we have?
Yeah,
Maybe sales or
there's something called, like here, if you remember, business group, legal entity, this is OU, and below this you'll have inventory, and there's something called sub inventory, right? Now here the business group is nothing but the world level, you can consider it as a world. Next is country level. Next is inventory is nothing but state level. Sub inventory is city level. Like this it will be. So now legal entity nothing but India country, and now each state, let us say in each state I have my company. Assume that like every state I have only one particular stuff. Okay, so let us say Telangana state I have my sub inventory Hyderabad. Let us say now Karnataka I have my Bangalore sub inventory. Now, basically, when your organization, which is at the India level, country level, they want to find out which city is performing how, right? And what way the particular city is performing. Whatever the transaction which you do at each state level, you will differentiate them based on the accounting code combinations. That is the reason if you have seen our the accounting code combinations, let me show you that. Let us take this screenshot so we'll not forget this, or maybe I'll just note down the job number. Okay. This is the job number right now. So I'll just close this. Observe this one. Of course, we'll be discussing this again. Okay, because you should. We'll have a session on the SLA concept, subledger accounting, uh, application. No, sorry, flexifield, key, and segments. Okay, general ledger, accounting flex. Sorry, general ledger, accounting flex, and operation.
In title, I think.
Yeah. Now here, if you observe, can you see can you see how these particular things are differentiated? Company, department, right? Account, sub account, and product. So these how they differentiate the accounts. Nothing but what they do is like now let us say assume that like a company level is nothing but like a state level. Department is nothing but city level, or maybe yeah city level. So either way, there are different ways of like observing your business, right? Every hierarchy will not be same.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So department, let us say HR, financial, management, human resources, right?
Okay.
So in that, you'll have account, whether debit account or credit account. Again, you have sub account also in that. So this is how they do it.
Okay.
This will
Sub
be
account is for?
sub account is nothing but like here, let us say you have HRM as HR department. So in that, again, you want to divide your accounts into sub level again. Like in the HR, like in the HR, there is something called like maybe a stationary account. There may be a non-stationary account, something like that.
Okay.
You can divide, right? Yeah.
Okay.
In like in the particular current project which I'm working on, we have 6 segments. So here, if you see, there are only 5 segments, right? In the current particular project which I'm working, we have 6 segments. And in the if you consider the Oracle latest stuff, it may have n number of levels. Now here, the maximum level it supports is only 10, I guess. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It supports only 10. But in the latest Oracle SaaS product, they support larger number of accounting code combinations. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes on. So there is no limit for this ERP. Q1 will search for the job which we created. Okay, so this is my job. Okay, now what we want to do is we'll try to create multiple jobs. So we'll design a report. What we do is we'll design a report which will consider the inventory organization code as an input. It will consider the inventory organization code as an input. Okay, in our case, the org code is Q1. This will consider organization code as an input, and it will list down what all the jobs which are present in this particular org. Requirement, right?
If I
Yeah, I'll repeat it. See, what I'm saying is
no. In HR operating units, the organization code is usually like we use 204, 206. No, here I mean the organization code is same, or
no,
this
no.
inventory organization code and that are different.
Okay, okay. See, they're totally different things. One basic thing is we have something called operating unit, and there is something called inventory organization, right? Okay. This is operating unit is something generally for like for the sales orders, for the purchase orders, and for the receipts, we'll consider operating unit stuff. And whenever inventory comes into picture, whenever you consider item details, it is always inventory level only. Whenever you consider item details, it's always inventory level. But timing, don't worry about the modules and all these things. Okay, it will take some time to understand. But right now what we do is, generally for operating unit you'll have organization ID and organization name. It will not have any organization code. And the table name for the operating units is HR operating units.
Okay.
Okay, and now coming to the inventory org, you'll have something called organization code, organization ID, as well as organization name also. And the table name for this one is org organization definitions. The table name for this MTLs of this one is org organization definitions. This is a little bit different concept. Okay. Now right now we are considering the inventory org. That's the reason I clearly mentioned inventory org. Okay. Now here what we are trying to do is, we want to create a job. We created a particular job and we just got this particular job created. We want to design a report which will consider the organization ID as an input, and it will display all the jobs which are available in that. Okay. Now here in which org we are actually, we can just find that. This script examine profiles. Org ID is 204, right? Org ID is 204. And here can you see a column called org ID? Okay. Can you see? 204 Q1 vision operations. Got it? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi. Yeah. I was unmuting it. I'm forgetting it and I'm responding. Sorry.
no problem. Yeah, so this is our stuff. And here if you observe, it is giving something. There's a column called operating unit, right? If you see in the organization definition, there's a column called operating unit.
Okay.
So now here the concept is, the inventory name is vision operations, as well as the operating unit name is also called vision operations. See, the concept is, an inventory also can work as an an OU can also work as inventory organizations. Nothing but if you consider like a country level, uh,
Mhm.
a city itself is also called a state, right? In some scenarios,
Mhm.
isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. See, for example, last time we have considered Tata Motors, right?
Hmm.
Okay. The Tata Motors is a business group.
It's a legal entity. Not Tata Sons is a business group.
Okay.
Tata Sons is a business group. Tata Motors India, it is a legal entity.
So, and Tata Motors again is an organization.
Yes,
Okay. And for that Tata Motors, we may have many inventories.
obvious. Yes, correct. So what we do is like
So
yeah,
the organization code in this organization definitions is that inventory codes.
correct.
Am I making sense? Okay, okay. Now I understood. Yes.
Yes. Maybe if you're interested in the functional area, like I have some documents, we can go through that. Like there is one particular consultancy which provided those documents. You can just simply go through that. You'll have a more clarity also. But right now, like wait for some time to understand that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we want to what we want to do is, we just want to design a report which will consider inventory org as first parameter. Okay. And second parameter is like our discrete job number as a second parameter. Based on the selected inventory org, it has to show that particular set of parameters, set of discrete jobs in that particular org. Okay.
Okay.
Now here the organization ID is 204, right? So this is a table where our inventory orgs will get stored. And now there's a table called WIP discrete jobs. WIP discrete jobs. And this is a table where discrete jobs will get stored. So it requires two tables to get joined. One is WD, this particular discrete jobs. Let me join here, WGJ WIP entity ID, WDJ dot WIP primary item. Yeah, primary item ID, right? So assume these are three tables. There is one more table we require to join, that's called WIP entities. WIP entities WE. WIP entity ID is equal to and what is our job name? WIP entity name is equal to mention our job name which we copied. Okay, WE I guess. Right?
Okay.
And here just see that we have organization ID column, right?
Yeah.
Something wrong, right? The organization ID, what it is showing is 8571. There is something wrong. Anyway, let me check that. This is our job number, right? This is our job number. What is the organization ID here it was showing?
Q1 or something.
Yeah, organization ID, what it is showing? 8571, right? 8571.
Maybe organization code is Q1 or something.
Organization code is, yeah, but it was 204, right? This is what we checked.
Yeah, yes.
There is one mistake. Let me check that. See here, it is showing QWE, right? QWE. Just check whether you have anything called QWE. QWE. Okay, got it? 8571.
Mm.
That's the concept. Organization code is QWE. Organization name is QWE warehouse. And what is the OU for this? OU.
It's null.
Oh, they've not even assigned OU. This will not actually work. Fine. Okay. Anyways, so this is the one which you want to consider now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is our child query, and we can also still join some more tables. Now let us, if you want to show item number, still you can do that. If you want to show item number rather than item ID, what should I do?
Six.
MSI, right? Inventory item ID. Segment 1, right? Yeah, segment 1. Okay. So we got multiple records because we have not done proper join. We need to join organization ID also. Yeah, mostly done. Yes. Let us do the remaining stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions?
Mm-mm. No, I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so now create a new report, build a report manually, save this report. Okay, web jobs report. And now what we require two parameters, and we want to make sure that user will pass. See, like what we do is generally user may select the names, but while passing it, we have to pass the IDs. It's totally different concept. So far what we have done, we are passing the total names which user has selected, but that is not the real way we do it. Okay, to just have a easier way, I've done that. But right now what we do is we have to follow a particular different approach. Let me show you. So whatever the value which user select, now let us say user selects the job name, but we have to pass a job ID. User will select the organization code, but we have to pass organization ID. So we have to use a different value set approach now. Okay. This got struck. Okay, where are we? Yes, yes, here. Okay, now and organization ID is equal to this one, and I'll just p underscore org ID or VIP entity ID is equal to colon p underscore VIP entity ID. Okay, 8571 8571. Got it? So these are the two parameters which you want to create now.
Okay.
Yeah, let us take this query. We have to pass the IDs. Okay, understand here. We have to pass the IDs. Take the query, take the SQL logic, paste it. It will create two parameters. User parameters. Okay, porg ID and VIP entity ID. Now go to layout, create the repeating frame, create 4 fields. Yeah, 4 fields. Assign the repeating frame. organization ID, item ID, and finally okay, I think we should have one more column for VIP entity name. Yeah, save it. Right, I'm passing IDs here. If you observe, I'm passing IDs. But do you think that user will remember IDs? No, he will not remember IDs. But let's see what is the logic behind that. Okay, got it. 257412 is
Yes.
our VIP entity name. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll not do any UI stuff here today. We'll just add up some one header. That should be fine. The remaining we'll just ignore because our concentration is on the value set part today.
Yeah.
Discrete job report. Compile, save it. Now migrate it. And the value set part which we discussed today will be used across. Whenever you work with the reports, you'll be using it frequently. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
application developer, concurrent executable. Okay. Save this report. Go to concurrent program. I can just go with HTML and here okay,
Okay.
remaining is same. Okay, web job, you click on parameters. Now what we do is we'll try to first of all we'll run the report with the hard-coded parameters and then we'll try to define our own value set. Initially what we do is we'll try to use the existing value sets. Okay, this is our
Okay.
parameter p-org id. This is my parameter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with the number value set first, the predefined value set,
Mm-hmm.
and this is my token. And here I mentioned arg code. User need to select arg
Mm-hmm.
code. Okay, but as of now what we do, we'll pass arg id only. Later on we'll try to change the value set, because value set generally it gives lot number of issues in the real time, so we have to be very much careful and do step by step. Enter VIP entity name and I'll make both of them as required. Okay, save it,
Okay.
close this one, save it. Now go to system administrator. Save it. Now go back to application developer. Yes, now let's see how it looks like and how it works. Now it is asking R code, but what I have to do? I need to pass org ID. I'll pass
Mm-hmm.
org ID only. It's asking me entity name, but I need to pass entity ID because what is the expectation of the query? I have to pass org ID and then entity ID, VIP entity ID. So I have to pass this one, VIP entity ID. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then click on OK and submit. Click on find. Okay. Yeah, click on output. Got it. We got the output. Of course there's some issue, we can take it, but
Mm.
we got the output. Now what we have to change, so the first one is we have to pass, user has to select organization code, but in the background we have to pass organization ID. Okay, let us work on that first. So for that, what we have to do is today we'll define a table type value set, application, validation, and set. So xxqa arg code value set. Okay, and here select table. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, in the table value set, this is table value set is at most important thing. Okay, generally every value set is important, but this generally you'll come across most of the times. In the table value set, what we have to do, so what is expectation is that when you're running the report, we have to show all the operating unit inventory orgs which are there, and that should be dynamic, right?
Mm.
Today something is enabled, tomorrow it can be disabled, and day after tomorrow something new can be created, right? So your
Yeah.
value set should be dynamically executing the data from the database. It has to retrieve the value from database dynamically. That's the reason prefer table validation when you want dynamic values. If you want static values, then go with independent value set.
Okay.
Okay. Now the table name is inventory. Okay, this may not be correct because what was our this one org organization definition, right? So
Mm-hmm.
from where we are getting this one org organization definition, this belongs to which module? Check that. All underscore objects where object name, see here, this is synonym actually. This is synonym and the other one is a view. So what we do is, time being, it doesn't select any table application name. You can ignore that. Just mention your table name. Okay, mention the table name. Now here there are three parameters. Okay, out of these three particular table columns, there's one thing which is mandatory. Value is mandatory. Value is
Mm-hmm.
mandatory. So the basic concept here is, so to the user, when you user selects that particular parameter, whatever the thing which you mention in the value, that will be displayed to the user. So for the user, what we want to display, you want to display
Organization code.
organization code, right? You want to
Yeah.
display organization code, this one, organization code. It is a varchar and size
Mm-hmm.
of 10, and meaning means nothing
Mm-hmm.
but like at most you can show only two values. Of course there is a logic, we can add up additional columns, but right now what we can do is we can show an additional value called organization name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And user will select organization code, but to the calling program, nothing but to the report, what value you want to pass. If you don't pass anything, organization code will be passed. But if you want, now for a given organization code, what is the unique parameter which you want to pass? We want to pass organization ID.
Organization.
So if you don't mention organization ID here, what will happen is by default it will pass the organization code, whatever which is there in the value, which will get passed by default if you don't mention ID column. Got it? Or any confusion?
I think I'm clear. Yes.
Just see it, run it. Once we run the report, we can easily understand. Save it, save it, control C. Now go to control, yeah, sorry. Okay, let's try. Yes, see the difference. Now what it is showing? It is showing org code and org name, right?
Okay.
Now what
Yeah.
we want? We want QWE, right? We want QWE as our OR code. I'll select this one. Now can you see right side it is showing the description part. This is
Mm-hmm.
OR code and this is org name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now here we have to pass, as of now we have to pass entity ID only, because there is no like we have not received the other thing, right? We'll just pass
Mm-hmm.
entity ID so that we'll get the exact values which you are referring. Observe that what it will pass, whether it will pass QWE or org ID. Can you see it is passing org ID 8571, not QWE.
Yes.
This is the concept. Okay. Now let us define our the next value set also. But here, yeah, first of all, let define the value set, then later on we'll modify it. So for user, what it has to show? It has to show the entity name, but background it has to pass the entity ID, right? That is a concept. Select start from VIP entities, where dot VIP entity name is equal to, yeah, this is a logic. But the basic thing here
Mm-hmm.
is we have to select those jobs based on the organization which user has already selected in the first parameter. Until first
Yeah.
parameter is selected, we should not allow user to select second parameter. That is a concept we have to do it. For that, what we do, first of all, in this one, what all we want to show? We require,
Entity name.
yeah, VIP entity name, VIP entity ID, right?
Yeah. Name spelling.
Something wrong. And in this one, we have a column called organization ID, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Organization ID, we have it. So now, so first of all, go back to the value set. We'll define our new value set, okay? Validation
Mm-hmm.
set. Take the first value set. This one, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is the one, right? Make a note of this one. So a little bit tricky part we have to consider. Now, what is the query we want to consider? I'll just remove this logic, where 1 is equal to 1 and organization ID is equal to this one. Okay, this is my
Mm-hmm.
query. For the value set, what I have to do, from where should I get the first parameter? From where do I get the organization ID? It's a dynamic parameter, right? User has to select it.
Yeah.
Until user selects, I don't know. But how do you pass that particular parameter to the value set? So Oracle provided a particular logic called colon dollar flex dollar, okay, colon dollar flex dollar dot the previous value set name. Okay, so whatever the value set, what are the value which you select in the previous value set, that will get that, you know, like that will be stored in this particular variable, and you can refer anywhere within that same set of concurrent program parameter. Colon dollar flex dollar you have to mention dot followed by the value set name.
Okay.
Okay, so now for our new value set we have to go with this approach. For what we do, our new value set name xxqa VIP entity name value set. This is our new value set name. Yeah, so let's define new value set, table value set, and here you can mention, I think it's a part of work in process. And what is the name? VIP entities, right? Sorry, it is not there. Let me check. Advantage is if you select the table entity names, automatically we can select the column from there rather than typing it. That's the only advantage. It's a pass of, yeah, it should be there. Let me try. Yeah, it is there. Okay. Now what value you want to show to the user?
Entity name.
Yes. And we can show description if required. Okay. And you see the advantage is it will automatically select the data type and sizes. That's the advantage on the table application. If you select table application and if you select table name, it doesn't need to type anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can select automatically from here. Your entity name, entity ID, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is ID. And now the where condition we have to pass. What is our where condition? This one, right?
Mm-hmm.
where 1 is equal to 1 and organization ID is equal to colon dollar flex dollar dot, sorry, this is small case, dollar flex dollar dot the previous value set name. Save it and click on test. This is called dependent value set because second value set is depending upon the first value set. Click on test. It is success as of now. Save it.
Okay.
Copy the value set name. Next thing is go to the existing program. Click on parameters. Yeah. Now remove the existing value set name. That's it. Okay. Now see the difference how it works. So what you see? The second is disabled.
Yeah.
Until you select the first one, it will not get enabled. So I'll select QWE. Can you see? Once I select the primary one, the first one, automatically second got enabled, and check out the jobs which are available here. Check out the jobs. See, as of now, there is only one job which is available. That's the reason it did not even open the LOB. Okay. Now let me try another org. Can you see? In the second job, in the Q1, there are a lot number of jobs which are available in Q1. Right? Right?
Yes.
So let me see this one. Any questions?
No, fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, but you have to practice on this one. Take another sample with the different tables, total different. What you do is existing sample, just check it out, and what you do is try to work on the total different tables. So then only you'll have clarity. So what you can do is, maybe if you want me to suggest, I can suggest you take a particular table called GL ledgers and take another table called GLJE headers. Or other way I can tell you.
Can you give me some OE orders or PO headers?
Yeah, we can do that. Not a problem. See, OE. See, what you do is HR operating units is the operating unit stuff which will have operating unit information, and OE orders headers all. So and OE order lines all. These are the two tables. You can consider these three things. What we can do is we can try to design a report which will display the line details of a sales order, not the header parts. Line level I want. User will select the operating unit. User will select the header number, and then he will select the line number and print the line details in the report. I mean to say display the line details of that particular sales order. Got it? Or
So I'll pass the header ID and I'll get the line details, is it?
yes, you have to define three value sets. Total three value sets here you have to define. First value set is for OU, second value set is for the sales order header, third value set is for the sales order lines. So this require header ID as an input. This require org ID as an input, or whatever it is, operating unit ID I mean.
Let me go through those tables and then.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. If you want to run the earlier request, we can just click on copy operation and just click on the report like this. It doesn't need to enter the value parameters again. These are the advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Still the same issue. think we have to go with courier, I guess. If you find difficulty with three parameters, just try with the 2 parameters.
So, the example you're suggesting, like the practice you're suggesting, in the first validation set, we should get the org ID based on what? Like,
User will select
here,
this. See, in the first particular parameter, user will select which org they want. Once they select org,
and
yeah,
we should provide them all the header IDs with that particular org. And if we select one header ID from that, we should pass that as an information to the next value set, and there we have to give the header ID which we have selected in prior, and
yeah,
then it should show us the lines, and we can select one line, and the
yeah.
report should print the details of that line, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Then what query we will give while designing the report?
In the report, what we do is like so in the report, just display the what we do is in the report. Yeah, let me write that. So in the report,
We
what I
can.
want is OU name I want, sales order number I want, sales order creation date, and supplier name I want, and line number, and the item number. This requires lot number of joins. Wantedly I'm telling all this. Okay, try to.
Does this need only those 2 tables or those 3 tables, or do I need any other?
You require good amount of tables here. This is not supplier name, it's customer name. This requires, what we do is right now, see, as of now, what you require, OU name you can get it from OU name you can get it from HR table, HR operating units, and sales order number you can get it from OE order headers all. Sales order creation date you can get it from there itself, and line number you'll get it from the OE
OE
order
order
lines table.
lines.
And right now, what you don't have is customer name and item number.
Item number in
Yeah,
MTL systems I can
yes,
be.
from here you can get it. But customer name, you need to join with HZ parties table. As of now, what you can do is just display customer ID. Okay, later on we'll try to understand, because once we deal with a TCM module, we can have more clarity. But right now we can display customer ID.
This customer ID will be available in HZ parties.
See,
Where?
no. Customer name will be available in HZ parties, but if you want to display customer ID, that will be available directly in the OE order headers table itself.
Okay, then fine.
Yeah, because like if you feel difficult to join with HZ table, what you can do is right now display the ID itself. Don't worry about displaying the name, because in the Oracle
Okay.
tables, like generally, whenever you link with any of the module tables, it will store only the respective IDs. It will not display. It will not store the names.
Okay.
That's a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, each module is a different functionality. Like it will take some time to understand, but try to just concentrate only on the primary major columns. Okay.
Okay.
So are you clear with the dependent value set today?
Yes.
And there is some other value set called, like a special value set. Generally, like whenever you have date ranges, or whenever a user selects some particular value, if you want to conditionally stop the user from selecting that, then we have to use a special value set. Here, if you observe, we will not discuss this today, but I'll show you. Application validation, not this one. Sets. Yeah. Can you see special? Okay. So this is a quite different concept. So can you see there is something called event, and there is something called like all these things. A lot number of things will be there for this. Okay. So like when we design some other special report, we'll try to consider this logic. Like whenever you want to design a report which will consider the date ranges, then we can consider that. Let us say, like the reports which I worked earlier, what is the condition we used to have it is, we used to provide creation date from and creation date to. So there are 2 parameters, from and to date. So The difference between from and to date should not be greater than 365 days. That was our requirement.
Okay.
Because like our report will, will lead, like, because the report which we designed requires a good, like a very intensive usage of memory. So until you have a proper date range, the report will end up running for 24 hours, more than 24 hours. So there's a chance that user may select different values, right? So they will not
Mhm.
take, they will not know how the report runs and all those things. So that's the reason they want to restrict that. It should not be, the user should not select more than 1 year date range.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are some reports where, like a user will select the GL code combinations, like even the item ranges also. What we have to do is like, maybe we need to select some set of modules and we need to run the standard reports also. Then we'll get more clarity.
Standard report means something Oracle gives with the ERP package.
Correct. Oracle provided reports. Of course, there are very, very difficult to understand. Okay. So,
Mhm.
yeah, some reports are easy, but some reports are very difficult to understand. Because generally Oracle
Uh,
takes at least 6 months, 1 year to design a report. So obviously within 1 hour, 2 years, within 1 hour or 2 hours, we cannot understand. Okay.
yeah.
So what we do is, yeah, in this RDF report, we have few more concepts like, yeah,
Mhm.
like lexical parameters, report triggers. And after that, we'll get into XML reports.
Okay.
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 Yeah. Fine then.
Yeah. Thank you. Which part of